Alright everyone, today we're going to be reviewing the film Funhouse, directed by the late Tobe Hooper, or at least I think he died, I don't know, I heard something about that. Released in 1981, it really feels like a film from the 70s, just in how the way the characters are dressed and, I don't know. I guess they had a big jar of the 70s that they needed to use up, that they had left over, but, anyway, so this film is very surprising. Anyway, so the film opens up with a young kid who's mimicking Michael Myers and Psycho at the same time. He puts on a mask, and I guess they're kind of homaging it. I don't know, maybe they're parodying other films that are doing it, because they're obviously not doing it. They're obviously doing it intentionally, right? Because the film doesn't have that slasher-esque genre. I don't know, maybe they were mocking it, but anyway, so he puts on the mask and he stalks his sister in the shower and scares the crap out of her. Also, the girl who plays the sister looks really young in this scene. Like, I have to say, it's a little unsettling. Because me and my father were watching it, and we felt very uncomfortable by how young the girl looked, you know? Like, but apparently she was like 21, 20-ish at the time they were shooting this film, so it was all cool. Anyway, so, they're lucky that this film was released by Universal, which owns Psycho, and I guess they own Halloween at this point, because I remember they released the sequel, Halloween 2. So yeah, I guess they're lucky that they own both those films, or else they would have gotten or else they would have gotten their balls sewed to the wall. Anyway, so this film also uses a lot of the classic monsters. You can see the faces of Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, and Bela Lugosi plastered all over that kid's room. Anyway, so sorry about that. So this film, the sister goes with her friends to a fun house, and a lot of the first half hour or first 45 minutes or so of the film is just them looking around the carnival and getting into trouble. And there's this woman who's basically a fucking witch. Now, there's no explanation for a woman walking out like that in public unless she's a fucking witch. So, yeah, she's a witch. He tells them God is watching. Like, isn't that the whole point of being a Christian, that God is always watching you? But anyway, so I don't see that as a bad thing then. But anyway, so not to disrespect Christians, no. So, anyway, so they decide they're gonna stay behind after dark, right? And there's this weird guy who's operating the funhouse, right? He's wearing a Frankenstein mask, which I've noticed something very esoteric. The Frankenstein mask is from a very specific scene in the movie, Ghost of Frankenstein. Just something weird I noticed. So, anyway, so they sneak past after dark, and they find the guy they find the guy who was in the Frankenstein mask, giving this gypsy woman from earlier $100 to jack him off, right? And that's disgusting. They laugh at him. He prematures, and he wants his money back. When she doesn't give him his money back, she freaking murders him, right? You know, he freaking murders her. So yeah, so don't cock block this guy. So so after that, the father gets angry at him, and the teenagers are all watching this in horror, right? And the guy's lighter falls down, so he knows they're there. And there's also a subplot about the kid knowing what's going on, but it never goes anywhere. So I figured I might as well not mention it. Anyway, so it turns out this guy is really deformed, and he's killed a bunch of people in carnivals before. And there's also a fetus that was on display earlier, turns out to be his brother, which is just bloody disgusting right there. Anyway, so he hunts down the remainder of the students. And the kills, even though they are very few of them, they are actually effective. And they react pretty normally to watching your best friend getting freaking killed. This monster's very sympathetic. You know, you can tell all he wants is to be loved by his dad and experience normal human things, and it's pretty freaking horrible. Hell, this girl even offers to have sex with him, right? Or, of course, not actually, though, and she stabs him in the fucking back as he's hugging her. Maybe he was trying to fucking rape her, I don't know. Anyway, so he survives that. He kills the girl. He kills the guy, right? And so this guy is going nuts. And so one of the other guy, Buzz, yeah, I know, right? To infinity and beyond. Back when Buzz was an acceptable name. Sometimes names go out of style because popular characters use them. I tell you, I sit next to a guy in fucking science, real fucking weeaboo, right? And so this guy is named fucking Blaze, right? His parents either wanted him to be a race car driver, an astronaut, or a fucking superhero, or a firefighter, right? And this guy is fucking annoying. He's like the personification of Pepe the Frog in real life. Anyways, now that I've got that off my chest. Yes, yeah, so after that, the guy stabs the father, who really just wants to, who's kind of messed up, really, kind of abusive. But you get the sense that he loves his son in the way that an abusive father does, who doesn't realize he's hurting him, but also doesn't care that he's hurting his son. Right? Which I don't know why this guy would want him, that face, to comfort him. Yeah, this is the face of the monster. Anyway, so the girl finally manages to get him into the operating room and crunches him, grinds him to bits, right? Grinds the hell out of him. So he's dead, and the death scene goes on for a long freaking time, right? And it just something like that, you know? Something like that. So it's long, and it almost triggered epilepsy. It's very flashy. So if you have epilepsy, skip the fucking part of the movie. I don't even have epilepsy, and I can barely watch these kind of scenes in movies. Anyway, so she escapes. All the fucking weird carnies look at her strange. She runs by the witch woman again, and so they're freaking gone. So she survives, and we don't know. It ends on the fat woman laughing. Honestly, this was a way better film than I expected. The characters don't get a lot to do, but it makes up for it by having a dirty and grimy atmosphere that is really, really unique to it. It doesn't stand out from the crowd in terms of slasher films at this point, but it is a very interesting watch, especially if you're a fan of the late Tobe Hooper. At least, I think he's dead. I don't know about that, Sights. A poor man who never does his research. That's all another thing. Anyway, so I suggest checking it out if you're a fan of Poltergeist or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very tame in comparing to those films, but it's also a real nice film. I'd check it out. I wouldn't say you have to watch it, but I'd go in with low expectations. Honestly, I'd give this about a 6.7 out of 10. Definitely above average, but a very nice film to watch if you're in the mood for some camp horror or old 80s horror. This has been Elijah's Blackman's Hall of Horror. I'll see you later.